Hello, welcome to my channel. It's great to have you here. My name is Gemma. I'm an advanced courtist. I'm a criminologist in my own right. And I am a Gematria 369. Hello. Or I like to change Gabriella. So we're not standing with the twos anymore, we're standing with the threes. Okay, so in this one I want to talk about the astrology. But prior to this, I think it begs an understanding to what this really means. And it's a community post that I posted. And it's about Royal Archangel Gabriellas, the Royal Ark of the Covenant, and our angels, right, that rise with us, right? Because what they're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve. What we're trying to achieve. So, when we understand aspects of Gabrielle, we understand that there might be something within us, okay? So, as a house connotation, you might have like a Pisces something or a 12th house something. What are we trying to achieve here? When we understand that things have been taking place that shouldn't have taken place for our Chiron Pisces, right? So these are the children, and you've come in prior to understand their energies. So if you have lots of 12th house placements, you are an extremely important person, right? And if you come through with a Pisces energy connected to the sign, which you will see on your astrology chart, you are also a very important person. And there's a reason, and it's because you hold an energy of a Gabriella, because they are the ugliest of them all, and they are jealous of them all, but it's not, right? Because, for example, I remember a girl, and she did a short, and she got very famous for it. Let's do a remake. She goes like this. I don't think I have any darker, but how'd you like me now? How'd you like me now? Right? How'd you like me now? Sorry, how'd you like me now? 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 Right? Who cares? Why? These children are coming in to teach us something about who we are in the face of adversity. So what's going on now? Way too much. So we've got Chiron in Aries right now, right? That's why I'm doing it. So we've got Chiron in Aries, right? We have an aspect of understanding a Chironic energy through going through an Aries space. So a lot of people who are Chiron Aries will understand the defamation of character that's taken place on this plane right now. And they are going through it. And who are they to us? They are elders, right? And there's a very specific few people who has like an Aries, Pisces, Chiron wound. There's not many of us, if there are people like that, or understand it. Okay, there's not many of us. This might fall into the Jewish doctrine, if you're interested. However, it might fall into other ones, okay? So it's an aspect of acceptance of energy, of bringing the religions together and like understanding who we are, right? White woman, okay? English. I sat in the Catholic Christmas carols. Interesting, isn't it? Right? So is a homage, is an understanding, an aspect of even when we are dethroned of our crown, or an acceptance of like who we are. So like if somebody dislodges you, who you are, I'm gonna have to take this off. So when people dislodge you from your true essence, what does this represent? This represents that they hold an insecurity. They're not intelligent enough to understand beyond what is being portrayed to them. Maybe because they want money, fame, or like an aspect of power, right? So you might sit there and go, oh, she just wants it. No, I'm talking to you, right? Little man, little girl, I'm talking to you, right? Where's my girl? Right? So, on that note, okay, we understand that as a break off of, because it had to be it, but it already happened. So they want to create it on a plane right now, okay? So it syncs with their religion, their ideology, and it's happening to people now on this plane as a consequence for an acceptance of like malice, mistreatment, taking advantage of people who shouldn't be taken advantage of, because really they are very precious beings. So this gets me onto the Pisces again. So Pisces energy is very important. They hold all aspects of what could be within them, and you might have a Pisces in the sign. Okay, so we'll just 1 second with that. So like I said, every 12th house planetary alignment that you have, 12th house, you go through the most traumatic experiences in your life. You are the ones, right, who are bringing in an aspect of understanding. Pretty much heard this before. However, I need to change my hair again. So, on that note, let's go through the houses. Let's go through an aspect to understanding each house, so that you little Pisces who have in a specific place can be helped. But sometimes it might just be you who helps you in certain times and events in your life. And, you know, some Aquarius like to dominate that, which is weird, because sometimes it's weird. It's all in the mythology if you want to check that out. That's on my Facebook, which is an old one, which is Royal Archangel Gabriella, right? And I have 5.7k followers on that one. So you want to check that one out? Check that one out, right? It's on Facebook. So this one's really about understanding the houses and through those spaces, in my understanding. Everybody comes with an understanding. We can sit there and Google it, but I'm going to do it just with my own RAM, okay? Which is the Aries, right? So I'm going to do my own mind and my own head, okay? So that's the difference, okay? So we're going to bridge a gap, okay? So one is identity. So you've got Pisces there. Then it will affect your identity a lot. Who you are, how you're presented to other people. And it goes with the 7th house as well. But I'll get into that in a sec. But literally is your identity. It embodies you. Okay? So if you're like a Pisces ascendant, which is your 1st house, you might sit and think, this is not my thing, and leave. That's fine. You can do that. You can be an observer. You're allowed, right? You are allowed to be an observer sometimes, okay? You're allowed to do that, okay? So I understand this through my own Lilith, right? But you're allowed to be an observer to an injustice and to observe that, okay? And sometimes it's not your fault, it's an injustice taking place worldwide, right? Some little Chiron Pisces there. So that's planetary alignment, bringing it in. So the 2nd house is about how we gain money. So you might be able to gain money through helping them, or you might be able to gain money through dislodging them. So where do you sit? Okay, so the third house is about family and friends. You might be able to like feel into those energies of pain and love and see how you can decipher and bring it back to your own identity, because 2 is the same as well, of like how you can incorporate an aspect of like this within your identity. How can I do this? How can I help these people? And this bleeds into the third house, which is an aspect. I think that was the third house. The second house is money. The third house is yes. So the third house is about how you're reading people. Okay, so you might be able to read people through your third house. If you have anything there in Pisces, if you have Pisces and third house, you can read other people. Okay, or you might have something there that will connect it to that. Your Pluto might be there, and it might connect you to understanding an aspect of. This is how I can explain it, but that you might be able to understand it through that connotation of your neighbours, what your neighbours might think. Short travel, so the district that you reside within. Okay, that's your third house. You might pick up on spiritual experiences of like how people are being behaved or how people are being treated. Okay, so you'll be able to pick this up straight away and get with it, right? So your fourth house is about home. Okay, so you might be able to read what's going on in your home straight away. You know already what's going on in your home. Okay, you might pick up little cues and stuff like this and be like, hang on a minute, something right here, right? And this might be your lock and key to like escaping anything that might be an aggressive to you, aggressive to you. Okay, so in the fifth house, this is where you might sit with your Pisces energy, because Pisces is all about intuition. It's about this. Okay, so the fifth house is about your fun and engagement, but you can also read other people, because we have to collaborate all those houses, because you have come in with the ability to read all of them, right? Sometimes we don't have that ability, and that's okay, because you can feel it in different ways, and there's a reason as well. Because when we understand people's intentions in love and entertainment, we can navigate our own Pisces, which is meant to be the feet, but in turn as an Ishtar, it sits with the ram, right? And it just is, right? It just is. So then we understand how progressive or aggressive we can be within our placements of a 5, which is entertainment, children, and happiness. Okay, so it's all of those things. The 6th house is definitely about service to others. So if you have like a Pisces energy and a service to others, we are really reaching out now, like how can we help these people? How can we change these individuals? How can we create a better life? Okay, you might look at somebody and think they're nothing, but they're going to change things for your company, your assets. So you really want these 6th house Pisces to come in, because they're going to change ideologies for your business. So you might have 1st house, understanding aspects of business, stuff like this. You might be good in that area. You need your Pisces to bring this out. You need your Pisces because they're going to bring aspects of understanding energy and how to like recreate change, because it's service to others. So every time you have a Pisces there, right, because it's 12th house, they know everything. Okay, so it's almost like putting a Pisces of a 12th house into a position where they have to work for an understanding. Why? Because they've already mastered it. They're just in a specialized area, a house, a specialized area to understand the energies. that are being brought forth so we can engage those aspects and bring them into an understanding where we can all work together. Okay, so that's your 6. How can we all work together? Okay, that is your 6, right? People keep saying it's me all the time, like, oh, I'm like, yeah, it's telling me I'm a 6. No, right? I'm a 12. I'm a Pisces. I have a stellium there. Move, right? So you obviously bring different understandings to the table. Sometimes you don't even know what you're talking about. This is why you have to bring all angels. And this is why he knew. However, he made a mistake. So let's carry on. The 7th house is about relationships. You can probably navigate a relationship really easy. Remember, this is Pisces. All 12 houses is in a 12th position. You already are all these things. You just specialize in specific areas. So as a 7th house, you might work better with communicating with different people to be able to solve problems. You might be able to sit there, right, and solve a problem with 2 people who've been at loggers for ages. You're sitting there as a 7th house Pisces, go in there with your sun, your moon, whatever you got there, and figure it out for them, right? Or mess it up. Okay? Depends on how you know how to navigate your power, right? And it goes for Saturn's as well. I'm here for you too. Anyway, let's press on. 8th, Pisces. So that's like a Scorpio energy. Because I haven't broken this down in the others, but this is a Scorpionic energy, right? So this is an aspect about the genitals. So that's the part of the body as an Ishtar would represent on the turn of the wheel. This is about understanding, okay, that an 8th house placement is about sexuality and spirituality. Okay? So when you sit in that as a Pisces, by God, I hope you are saved. My precious little angels. Anyone who hurts them are going to go down. I promise you. So in this one, these little angels are the ones who are going to bring back a forth of understanding, awareness and energy to the spiritual experience they have understood throughout their lifetimes, especially the 8th house. They're going to come up, stand and probably sit on a perch and tell you all about it. You might be like, what are you on about? This isn't a Pisces. Don't know what you're talking about. They might be a Pisces in a different way. Chiron especially. Hitting them notes, right? Saturn, Pisces. Hitting them notes, right? Saturn is an aspect of understanding. These ones might be the ones that come through for the children, right? Or not, depending on how old you are, when you come for the children, and like there are aspects of possession, which I have to put in there. There are always aspects of possession. You have to understand this. So as like the Muslim doctrine pertains, they cover their heads, okay? And this is 8th house as well. This is breaching on to 9th, but we're going to go on to the next level. Spirituality can understood as a simulation to understand the truth. Okay, so remember, Pisces, 8th house, anything, okay? You are here to understand an aspect of truth in whatever it is that's being brought forward. Sometimes in a 5D experience, we'll get onto this a little bit because it's an 8th house, you might understand spiritual experiences from a 5D, right? You might be playing out these 5D like, that's not me, I wouldn't do that. So remember who you are inside and then rise from that, because sometimes you get like a Roblox gang who's got like, was this going to be like a fabrication of a Roblox understanding, okay? All the kids were playing Roblox, Pisces, right? So this is like, you must understand as an 8th house that there might be some things outside of us that want to come in for us to understand. So you might understand spiritual experiences because it just keeps seeping in. Why is this happening to me? I don't understand. What's going on, right? And This is why people might end up in like institutions, psych wards, things like this, but you don't belong there, okay? And it's because society does not know how to treat you. I love you. Anyone who hurts you, it's going to get done, right? So anyway, let's move on. 9th house. These are where like your Pisces might sit as protagonists to change the world. You might have learned from other people as well. It's an integration, right? We're observing other people. It's a 9th house Chiron wound, but as an aspect of understanding a wound and how it can sit, we can all integrate those aspects, especially if you're a Pisces. So as a 9th house, there are transits through our sign. You might have 4th house Pisces sun and have a transit to a progressive energy and have a 9th house sun in Pisces. So we have to look at the transits, we have to look at the natal sign, and then we have to look at our, like, the progressions, okay? So our transits. So you bring it all together. So when you go to 9th house, you might be older if you have, like, 1st house placements. You might be really older. And you're up there in the 9s, you're reaching, right? We're born into it, right? Some of us are born into it. So you might understand, like, a 9th house placement, and then you have to bring that in. We have to understand that these placements don't define us, okay, as well. Because when you get up there, you're breaking down religion. You might be a priest, a priestess energy, right? You've evolved, right? Pretty little ones, right? You've evolved, right? Into an aspect of understanding the 9th house. You delve through that energy, right? You take it on board, okay? Everything in it. And the world around us, because from the 7th house is a relation, it becomes an aspect of beyond us at a 6, okay? So it's what is beyond us is a 6. So that's the higher fraction, which I've heard before, but to explain it and how I understand it, you've already understood the lower belly of your own crook, crevices. Now it's time for you to rise beyond that, okay? Gain wisdom, knowledge, which is on the Kabbalah, which is it Chakma? Okay, wisdom. So as we travel for experience in our lives, we can fall into aspects of understanding within the 9th house, okay? So you always must pull any higher aspect of where you are. So the higher spectrum and the lower. So this is you mastering you, and then this is you mastering the world. Some people walk in to this power play and have to learn this, okay? Some people can just learn the lower spaces of, like, who you are, okay? That's all you need to know, because this is what you learn in this lifetime, okay? So you learn this bit, and then you learn this bit in the 9th house, or 7th and beyond, because 7 is relationships, okay? So if you have a relationship with somebody, you might understand, so like if you have Chiron 7th house, you might feel, because I'm having it now, it's my transit, baby, I'm with you, I love you. You might be having this now, right? And it's because we're, like, rising, but I already did this. It's 9th house. I have 9th house Cancerian energy, right? So I already did this, right? So I'm just coming back through again. And I'm coming back through with all the other little ones, okay? So as a teacher, that's your 9th house. I'm falling between 9 and 7, and it's for a reason. Because your 7th house is really truly an aspect of, like, a Libra justice energy. How can we make this relationship work? This is an understanding of a Libra energy, a Mayat, right? It doesn't matter what planets are there to make it work for you, okay? So you can understand and be, like, an aspect of understanding a 3, a 6, and a 9, because that's what's more important. This is why I'm talking about them. So your 9 is always about learning, understanding the doctrines, okay? So I have Chiron there in the 9th house. And it's crazy, right? So I'm learning them as I go along. So I'm teaching as I go along, okay? So as a 9, I've done a walkthrough already with a lot of you all. And mine's in my 7th house, Aries, as a natural understanding to where our path has gone since we were born to now. So right now, Chiron is in Aries 7th house. So for me. But Chiron is in Aries for everybody, okay? So the Aries energy is taking a hold on a lot of things right now. Everybody's lost their head, okay? So it's kind of like the heart, the Queen of Hearts, chop her head off, okay? It's a connotation, understanding we have all lost our heads, okay? I don't know if it's happened, it's just happened. I don't know if the elders have done it from our time, so maybe there's some North Node Cancerians messing up my throat, right? However, okay, the elders come in and treat us bad or good because they was taught the same way, right? So we don't need to do that. We're Pisces, okay? Because I'm a Cancerian. You're all Pisces, mate. You see the world, you see it all at large, okay? So let's get into 10th house. You will be the master of this. This is what gets me to the next one. You become the master of these energies, my little precious children. Right? So, if you have a moon, if you have anything, right, rising you up there, know a foundation that came from it, right? So this might be your parents, usually it's your dad, 10th house. But it can be your mum as well because it's your moon, right? So wherever it is, you rise to an aspect of that I know energy and you go, I can do this because she did it. I can do this because he did it. I can understand this because I know that I am a brave person who is capable of achieving what I need to achieve. So especially you guys who got Chirons in the 10th house or like a Pisces energy, right? Okay, you can rise, okay? And it, you know, I've seen some astrology charts now that just look really like different. I'm like, there she is, right? And it's not because it's an aspect of teaching who are gonna be before us, because we pass over, not now, but eventually we pass over. So this is important because when you understand the step over, which is our who comes afterwards, right? So you understand there's an energy there that it's not going to revolve, like it doesn't stop, right? And it really doesn't. So actually 10th house, it's power sign, but it's your feminine archetypal energy. So bring this in. 10th house, feminine archetypal energy. You might bring a mother tongue in. You might bring aspects of like a mother tongue to a different nation. You might bring things into an equation where people will start actually realizing what's going on around here and what needs to change, because that's a Saturn energy. That's a Capricorn energy, which is Saturn, but it's a Capricorn energy, right? It can be any planet, but it's that planetary alignment that brings it forward, okay? And sometimes people don't like you for expressing that, but you must remember there's strength there, okay? We don't need to be quiet, do we? Right? Because we already know what's going on around here, okay? So, when we continue to the 11th house, it's all about your desires. Okay, so Pisces like, oh yeah, I want fantasies fulfilled. You might be a stripper. I'm not. You might be a stripper. You might be like really big in the game. Okay, And you can get your luck there as well, but don't go there, right? Because you can do better than that in your 10th, right? So always remember that you have play time, and that's your 5th, and it can rise to your 11th, but then you also have your 10th, which is your strongest point, okay? Because your 10th is your career, okay? It's everything you stand for, right? So it's like pulling all those aspects of everything you've learned from your 4th house and pushing up to your 10th house, right? Or whatever sits on that IC. Look IC up if you don't know. So, which is the bottom quarter of who you are, right? So we rise to an aspect of like our desires and things like this. What do we want? What don't we want? Rethink your strategies. Always stay true to yourself. Don't get worn out. Don't wear yourself out by people who come into your life and tell you how to run your own life, okay? So if you want something, you're going to get it, okay? Especially with these 11th house children. Jupiter, God knows what, right? And I'm trying to stick to the Pisces, but I'm going to branch out because it's about understanding your planetary alignments and how it can come together for you. And you can't psychologically abuse people if they are powerfully strong enough to withhold their lies. And because that strength will always realign you to a true purpose and what it's meant to be, right? And if they don't, it's because, it's probably something else going on the plane and it's bigger and wider and you're a Pisces, right? So this is how it's complicated because Pisces holds everything. They know what's going on in this world and they know that they're not having it. This is interesting because I see this a lot, okay, with Pisces because they are very disadvantaged people sometimes. When you sit in your 12th house, we already know what's going on. So if you've got Pisces 12th house and you're a Pisces and you've got planets there, you poor little thing. You poor little thing, right? Because people should not be treated like a Jesus. And they use the Pisces to do that. And they pick on them. And it's sad. Because they go, oh, no, it's time. No, it's not time. It never was. You just pick an easy prey, okay? Because they haven't risen to their energies yet. And it's high time you realise, because a lot of people will try and pick on the Pisces Saturn energies as well. And that's sad. Because the reality is that they're probably not even like old enough to understand what you're doing to them. Like possession and stuff like this, which is the Muslim doctrine speaks about. So there's a connection with the Jewish doctrine there because they speak about the possessions spiritually, but they're people. Okay, so they understand this too, which I've said before, is that Muslims understand that it's usually people who dominate us, and they're not dead. Okay, because dead wouldn't do that because they already understand why this is taking place and what's going on. Okay, so usually the dead wouldn't do that. So when you reach 12th house placements, 12th house Pisces, 12th house sign, 12th house planetary alignments, you will understand that you've either hijacked these people for, usually this is what's going down, right? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to end this out after this. But usually people will literally dominate us on these reigns, and they do it because they see an easy target because they are innocent or an inverted state, immature. Okay? Please understand this when I say this. I'm not being horrible to you. I'm not. Okay? I'm just trying to make you understand the difference. Okay? Because everything's scrambled eggs and we have to make sense. Okay? So, we have to stand up to these people. Okay? We take our chances. We love who we love. And we rise where we need to rise. Okay? So there's a connected energy with all these places, and it's an Ishtar, and it was like a cycle of understanding, and I did this. I went through this energy as an archetypal understanding so that I could understand this and then give it to you as the masses. Hopefully you like my content. If you do, like and subscribe, and I'll be here with more content for you. Take care. I love you, my children. I love you so much.